Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nubray. Today we're talking about new stuff in the game. We're talking about relics. We're talking about the upcoming instant Hydra battles, what that's going to mean. And to discuss this and break it down, I'm joined by Bront Cathurler. Welcome to the channel for the first time. How are you doing?
Pretty good. It's good to be here. Obviously, my bitter rival on the trivia stuff from HWZ, but
Yeah.
we can put that aside and talk some raid.
It's easy for you to put it aside because you beat me. It's easy. um,
I'm sure we'll face off at some point.
that would be really cool. Yeah, it'd be really fun. If you guys haven't seen the HWZ videos, the raid trivia, it's just like just a fun video, nothing serious. They're well worth watching. So yeah, make sure to check them out. Let's dive into the relics, though. I have you got any relics crafted? First of all, have you done yours yet?
I crafted 2 relics
Okay.
and I got another duplicate of the one that they gave us for free
Oh yeah,
and
I got that as well. This one, yeah.
yeah, and then promptly fed that to the other relic I got, and I think I
Ooh.
put it on. Who did I put it on? I think I put it on my Siffy just because it was
Mm.
the best. Yep, I got the Journal of Nectros.
Oh
And
yes, yeah, I got that one as. In fact, I got the exact same 2 relics as you, and I got one epic one as well. But yeah, I got a second one of these. I got the
yeah,
journal of
I didn't
Necrosis.
get enough to actually forge a second one because I didn't quite hit the top chest
Mm.
on Night Ultra Nightmare. I think I hit
Yeah,
the top chest on Nightmare. And it was a matter of thing. I figured I'd just kind of fool around with it a little bit. I was trying some stuff out. I did a lot of it live on stream, and it's new content. And honestly, given the rewards are not too great, I don't feel too
right.
bad taking my time with it and experimenting with it. So I think that's from that end is kind of fun. It would be nice if it was worth a little bit more, but
Yeah, right. Yeah, 100%. I mean, for in terms of the rewards are definitely fairly low. It's something that we've been chatting about over on like hellhades.com, like chatting with YST and Saf about it and what we should like what's worth prioritizing. Like we feel like the priority is number 1 getting the best chest that you can. Then number 2 is probably even though they're kind of rubbish, there's so much like the chests from just getting the fight done is by far the best thing. That gives you the most rewards by miles. Then Clash is like, okay, probably do some of that. And then the trials are fairly weak, it feels like. That it's a lot of work to do the trials for not a ton of rewards. We kind of feel like that's the third priority. And
it
uh, it seems
I
to me
actually
that
think it's
you think the
yeah.
other way.
I think it's actually a little different. I think
Okay.
that I would be willing to do some of the trials, and it really depends on the trials because
Mm,
I don't know if you can pull some of the trials up or not, or if you've
I
used both your
can't.
key.
No, I've used my.
You
It's
can't
even.
now.
It's shut. We're recording the day. It's shut as well. You can't do it. There's like
Yeah,
one day of the week you just can't
great
click
timing
into
on
it.
our end, I'm sure. But
Yeah. Whoops.
so no, the some of the trials have some of the best rewards.
That's true.
Now,
They
some of
have
the
good
trials are
stuff. Yeah.
also ridiculously hard to deal with. Like,
Mm,
I think one of
mm.
the better rewards is the third trial in Viper, where after you've survived 3 turns and not
Yeah.
died, then you have to have somebody die
Try
and
and revive.
successfully revive them, which is silly.
Yeah, it's incredibly hard to do that one. Yeah, I wonder if anyone did. I'm looking at a couple of the. No, that's trial 3. I don't think that's the correct one. You kind of need an AoE reviver to do it. I'm just seeing anyone who's got lots of trials completed. Maybe on Nightmare someone did it, but
Yeah,
it's
and
hard
you
to arrange to
specifically need to
die.
target somebody to, all right, now I'm going to make sure somebody dies this rotation,
Yeah,
which is so weird. And
yeah,
it's the
it's
third
tough.
one. So you have to get past the first one too, which means you might not be able
Mm,
to get it on the first pass, which means you might not be able to get the next one on the next pass, which means you might
yeah.
not get the last one. And
Hmm. Yeah.
it's weird, but I said I focused on doing some of those. There's a couple of them that are worth a lot.
Yeah.
And from a clash standpoint, I think actually giving up a little bit of your chest to get several extra keys can be worth it from the clash points because there
Mm,
are the extra multipliers for, I think it's like 1.1 extra for Ultra Nightmare for every quest you do.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you drop, especially for like people that are doing 120, 150 million,
Oh yeah.
if
Yeah.
I dropped 5, 10 million and got 2 extra quests, that's going to
Hmm.
be worth a lot more points.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you. I definitely feel like you don't focus on the trials if you haven't got to the top chest, but once you've got there, that's when you do become more flat. I think it's kind of interesting design as well. It's something I like about Chimera is that I mean, a lot of us in my clan, I mean, we're obviously endgame and are going to be a lot stronger than a lot of players playing the game. But the fact that we can do this now without relics and without, champions further down the line that are going to be really specifically designed for Chimera and so on, it means that it's kind of achievable to get the chest. And then as, power creep happens and the game goes further, it will become more about like, okay, getting the chest isn't a huge deal, and it's something that a newer player can actually aspire to do at a reasonable time frame within playing the game. And then for the later game players, it's like, oh, now try to get as many trials done, which is going to be tying into Chimera Clash. And also the fact that, manipulate, I don't know if this is something you see much with clans, but all the high-end clans that we're looking against in Siege, Clan versus Clan, Hydra, and all of them, half the game, more than that, really, is manipulating the matchmaking. Unfortunately, that's what it is. But Chimera Clash, or the way Chimera works, because you sort of naturally want to do the trials for yourself for rewards, and then those are boosting your Clash points, it's actually quite hard to score low on Clash. To score low on a Clash is going to mean, well, stopping your run early, you might still get the top chest, but it's going to mean that you can't do the trials, which means, you're not getting as many gems, you're not getting as much stuff to upgrade your gear. So you have to give up quite a lot if you want to manipulate Clash, which I think is a good thing because, in my opinion, matchmaking manipulation is not good. And it's all over the place.
I think, looking at your clan, you've got a couple people that have done the 300 million in just pure damage.
Right.
Those are where you're going to be able to manipulate that just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because, they can shave off 100 million, maybe get more trials out of it, which scores maybe about the same points, maybe less, but they'll get more for it. In fact, my guess is that Kronar there probably did 10 things because he could, rather than doing 500 or 600 million damage. So
maybe, I don't know. I think it'd be hard to push. I don't know if you can push 500 million with this exact team. Maybe. No, probably not. Probably, yeah, you're right. You probably brought in the R base probably for trials, and as opposed to, like if you put in like an Operdin or Androck, which he might have, I don't know. Probably has Operdin. That would definitely be doing. Yeah, you're right. That would push it higher. Yeah,
especially with Senna.
Yeah. And you could dump Marius, like Marius here isn't bringing that much, like increased defense for one trial to increase accuracy for another, but you've got increased accuracy from her. Like you could dump him and dump 197 million damage and bring in somebody to do more trials, and there you go. You've got more rewards, lower Clash points, but manipulates it a bit. Yeah, it's a whole meta game.
Yeah,
it's spicy,
and it's one of those things too that I know. Like I've got two accounts because I run a regular account and I've got a lower end account, and I'm in Ash's clan, and then I run the lower end of Ash's clan. So I run Risen from Kittens, and then I have his Risen from Ashes, of course. And the lower clan has got a lot of people that are very casual, and they were not looking forward to Chimera, and the fact that it was actually so achievable, I'm not hearing complaints about it. And in fact, what I'm having to do is I'm having to tell people that are getting 75 million scores on easy that really they should have started on hard. It's
right.
If you're doing that much on easy, you just start on hard. Don't worry about killing easy, because honestly, the people that should be doing easy, they'll be doing easy, but they should be moving to normal and hard. And I think that really, and we can complain about the rewards, and those I think will get adjusted because I think Polarium realizes that they're not great, and maybe it's just a matter of they want to ramp up the rewards slowly, so they didn't want to go the other round, and suddenly the high-end clans are drowning in relics, and it's a getting richer standpoint too. But
that's true. Yeah,
it is. This is achievable, and it's achievable early. It's it actually unlocks before Hydra.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't actually know that. That's interesting. I mean, I would say whatever is it normal Hydra stuff. I think normal Hydra is significantly more difficult than. Certainly, probably. Yes. I'm not too familiar because I haven't run them, but I'd say it's way harder than easy Chimera for sure. I don't know. Have you experienced that on your second account, or is that too advanced?
No, the second account I'm doing brutal, and I'm one keying brutal, so I'm not desperate on that account. I was running a quick free to play at the time, and it just happened to show there for running it for a month to see the new experience as well, and. I'm level 40. I think I've been able to do Chimera since level 38 or 35, so it actually opens up pretty easily. And I ran 2 keys, and I'm getting the second or the third chest.
Okay.
As a new account that's got Kale just got to 60. I've got the Monkey King at 60,
Right, right.
and I've got like a Stag Knight, a Deacon, and a Rector Drath. And
Yeah.
so I'm clearly not running a meta team in any way, shape, or form.
No,
Those are
no.
just the champions I've got. So
I mean, that's perfect. That's really interesting. I actually genuinely think this is something that they've done super well. Is the difficulty curve within? I think it's way better than Hydra in terms of
yeah,
that. I mean, it was. I did laugh a little bit, when I did my initial video on it, and the comments were like, "This is impossible. We're never going to be able to do anything." And like, yeah, when it actually came to it in practice, you're looking at it going, "There's easy all the way up to Ultra Nightmare. Like, it's probably going to be," and then it did end up being quite accessible. Yeah, I mean, let us know in the comments. I'm curious for people, like if you are, capped out on normal, like how far are you in the game? If you're capped out on hard, how far are you in brutal, and so on. I'd be very curious as to like where my viewership are in terms of how long they've been playing and how far they can get. One thing to touch on when you do get your rewards, I don't know if this has been like mathematically worked out, but within my clan, they're saying that the best thing to do is generally just to stack the same rarity of materials. So I've just put all my rares in together. They're like when you start mixing them, I'm not sure, maybe it is better, maybe it's not, but for now we're like just wait until you have enough of one rarity to throw them in, and that's going to give you like the highest chances to craft the higher rarity ones, which I think is going to be what can really push you. Like if you get a mythical one, they're bonkers. Yeah, they'll push your account to a much higher level.
Just looking here, I've got the epic ones I'm crafting on my account here. I've got enough to put 2 of them in, and so I've got the 35% chance at the epic. The moment I start putting rares in, that starts dropping down. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you generally don't want to put the lower ones in as little as possible. So try to save the same amounts.
yeah.
That said, craft all the rarest ones you can. There's no reason really to hold on to those either at that point. So
exactly. I mean, and this is something that you said, that you fed one of your relics into a different relic. Like that's really interesting because I mean, when you come to upgrade these things, like you need this is only to get to level 3. You need three 3-stars, and then you're going to need what 4 stars, 5 stars. You need a ton of these relics, and I do think it looks like you get like 1 3-star, I think, from placing high in Clash, and that's it. There's no 4, there's no 5.
Yep.
Maybe some is going to come in the future. They're probably going to sell some as well, but most likely it's going to be. I think I can't see them because I've got them equipped, but most likely it is going to be collecting tons of the rare relics and then leveling them up like food champions, ranking them up and using relics as food, rare relics as food to power up your epic ones and legendaries is probably what it's going to be. You made that decision to was it to use a good rare.
I got a duplicate unholy grail. It was like this isn't worth it. The other one looks interesting, right. And again, I threw it on Siffy because I was, she gains a little bit out of everything with it, so it felt like it was the best champion to throw it on, even though there are better champions that give turn meter boost or heals, but I use her in so many places. It's kind of like, why not give somebody that's going to get the most out of it, Yeah,
I mean, it's got Rotus in the name, so it's good for her, right? But no, that's cool. Which epic one did I get? I got the Orb of Transfixion, which is that chance to steal a random buff, which is pretty cool. So it's very low chance, like you really do need to rank it up for that to become more impactful. I mean, the nice thing is it does have the two gem slots, so I've got a nice little gem collection, but mostly lower rarity ones. I've got one good for bombs. I have that on my Nishak, I think. I got the legendary bomb one, which is cool, which is actually really strong.
I think there's only 1 or 2 ways to get the legendary ones too. It's either one of the class chests or one of the trials specifically, I think, which is why I said the trials can be impactful, because a couple of the trials are the only ways to get the higher rarity, or at least the easiest ways to get the higher rarity gems.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was from a trial or from a chest. I couldn't actually tell you. I don't know. And I've got a few. I've got another legendary one as well. I must have got them from trials because I've only opened the 1 clash chest, and I've got 2 legendary. So hey, there you go. This one's kind of useless though. Hey, it is what it is. All right. So looking then ahead to, and I think we're going to talk more about Hydra over on your channel as well. But we now have it confirmed. I don't know if you saw it because it was out. The news was out earlier today when we were recording, that they've confirmed that instant battles for Hydra are coming within 3 to 4 months. So it's definitely coming very, very soon. I mean, what are your... I've seen a bit of debate about instant battles for Hydra. Are they good? Are they bad? Like, what's your initial initial thought on that? Are they good or are they bad?
I think they need to have a limit on how many of them you have a chance to do.
Ooh, okay.
And the big reason I think for that is we already have a problem of when reset times happen. In fact, they actually addressed that with the reset time for Arena because they're talking about eventually maybe getting it shifting in some way, shape, or form for
Yeah.
those of us Yankees over in the US can actually get a chance to actually compete in this and not be up at 3 in the morning. I mean,
Hmm.
even for you, it's 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning is when
Yeah,
platinum
yeah.
reset. So if you had a real job, it'd be kind of hard for you to do.
You say I don't have a real
Um,
job? Oh my god, you're
I well,
breaking my
you know what I
heart
mean.
here. Oh no, my god. Wow.
Breaking news: Nub is not real.
Oh
No,
no. No, but 100% no. I totally I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. I
but
mean,
so
and
what we
yeah.
don't want to have happen is we don't want to have a situation where an hour before reset, all the people with these really, really huge but RNG based teams are basically sitting around saying, all right, I only got 2 billion damage here. Let's reset that. All right, here's the 4 billion damage here. All right, that's good. We'll throw with that one.
Hmm.
Oh, look, I got 11 billion damage on this run. That's awesome. Let's keep it. But
Right.
if you can infinitely in 10 minutes make 7 runs,
Hmm.
where's the limit?
That's true. I mean, as far as I'm aware, I think that the really high scoring teams are manual. I don't think they work on auto. I don't know. Like, are there any specific teams you're thinking about that when you do run them multiple times on auto, they can vary like really wildly? Um,
Well, I know some
yeah,
of the Trunda teams are actually got to a point where they can be run auto. I know
yeah, they
Bronco's
can.
had a couple of them where he's done that, and they're maybe not like the top tier teams,
Mm.
but there's already so much RNG in Hydra as well. I mean,
Yeah.
especially if you've got Trunda built in 9-piece Merciless, she's going to be randomly resetting her skills occasionally, randomly doing extra damage, randomly getting
Hmm.
extra turns. You get absolutely lucky with a reset and an extra turn a couple times in a run, and that can be the difference between 2 billion and 6 billion damage.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. This one here, this is obviously a full auto team. Probably. But I mean, if you
Mhm.
manually timed your thing, it gets better. But yeah, I mean, you could totally do that. It is probably with the more, yeah. How many A2s will a Trunda on auto fire into decapitated heads versus just randomly firing them off? That can vary quite a bit for sure. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
not even a matter of like
Mm,
having billions of damage difference either. The
mm-hmm,
fact that
mm-hmm.
some people can easily get a difference of, half a million damage or even,
Yeah,
200,000 damage. That can be the difference in if the entire clan, because they're a European based clan, can do that while the US clan can't do that.
right.
That makes clan versus clan for this a lot rougher for somebody. So, and I'm
Mm-hmm,
not
mm-hmm.
saying like, you've only got 3 chances to do it, period. Maybe there has to be like, you've got basically 5 times to reset your instant battle on each difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
not something super restrictive, but not something to where because I can do this an hour before reset, I can run a near infinite amount of them based on how much time. Plus, I
Yeah.
honestly think that if they're complaining about the server load for these instant battles, because that was originally why we were told we couldn't do some of this stuff, is the
Ooh.
server load,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
going to really hit their servers if an hour before reset, you've got, a third of the population of Raid instantly clicking rerun.
That's true. The whole game crashes. Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
they changed the clan boss timings because of that as well, right? Which was weird because it was the same timings for everyone for so long. Yeah,
And
that's that.
Chimera's got this weird day reset now too, and I think it's
Yeah,
the same problem. So
yeah. It's calculating. Listen, they've
Mhm.
got to calculate this sort of stuff. Processing results. It takes a day to work it out. Yeah, it's the same with Siege. They like the day wait time as well, don't they? Siege. Yeah, I could see limit. I wouldn't want it to be like I think with Demon Lord, right? You press instant and it's locked in. Like that's it. I think that would be terrible for Hydra because
Oh
as you
yeah.
said, there's the randomness and like that's just going to be really really punishing to the everyman player who's like, oh, I mean, I'm pretty close to getting the points I need, and sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't. Like if it instant locks it in, that's rough. So you do definitely need some sort of retry attempt. Um, And yeah, I think 5 rebattles actually sounds pretty reasonable. You know, maybe even just 3. You know, you just give like, okay, you
Mhm.
got like 3 goes, and actually 5 seems good.
Yeah.
5 is like lots, isn't it? 5 goes, and if
Yeah.
you're still not happy, go and actually run the thing. But I mean, you should be pretty happy with 5 attempts per day. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good compromise. Um, yeah,
And it just something simple too. Like
mm,
I've got a couple of my teams have Necmo and Provoke as my only provoker. It
oh
works
yeah, yeah,
fine, but I have to on the very first run make
run.
sure in his first 2 or 3 hits
He
he
lands
actually
it
gets that provoke out, or
right.
else it ruins the run.
Yeah,
And it's amazing how much it ruins the run to not get that provoke out just in that first run. Any other
yes,
time the random, it's not a big deal, but that first run it messes up so much.
yeah.
And that could take 5 retime. Like I've done 10 before to get it to knock. It's amazing how often 35% doesn't land.
Yeah, I've had that happen before as well. I trying to like do showcases on the test server or something, and you're like, okay, run it again and again and again and again and again, and you're like, oh my god, this just I'm trying to only cover the first damage dealer, and this damn
Mhm.
provoke set won't land. What is going on? Yeah, because it starts with the Hydra head starts with so much turn meter filled. That yeah, it's rough. For sure. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. 5, but let us know what you guys think in the comments. I would say 5 instant rebattles per difficulty, just instant calculate seems pretty fair. And that also you're not going to be tempted to just like go over and over and over and over again trying to get the maximum thing. That you have to stop at a certain point as well. It's probably good for people's
Mhm.
mental well-being, not feeling like I've got to go crazy every time. Um, like what? Certainly for the high end, I mean, the big question is going to be most teams, they do way better when you manual. Do you think that's going to be a bit of a concern, like with Clan Boss, Demon Lord, I should say? It's no problem. Everyone just does the instant battles because there was no manual gameplay in there anyway. Hydra is kind of weird because it was, I mean, designed initially that it was supposed to be a manual fight. Um, and some people enjoy it manual. I think most people don't. But like it's clearly supposed to be run fairly manually because there is so much randomness in it. Seems like the content isn't a perfect fit for full auto instant battles. Like, do you think that's going to be a problem, or is it just like, you know what, screw it? Like, if people really want to score high, they can go do manual. Like, that's up to them.
Well, that's actually kind of where I think it's actually probably a good thing to. You don't have to do manual unless you want to.
Yeah.
You want the high scores, you want to get that billions of damage, you want to do, these massive chests for the clans,
Yeah.
then go nuts. But at the same time, it also will help clans that will occasionally tank a Hydra clash. Like,
Mm.
oh yeah, just go ahead and run your stuff on auto, and whatever happens, happens. And if we end up tanking this Hydra clash, we end up tanking this Hydra clash. That's fine. That works. Um,
Yeah. No, I
so
agree.
there's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a feature in this particular case, not necessarily a bug. And I kind of like the fact that it becomes something that doesn't punish anybody because what you make back in it is time.
Yeah.
So if I don't spend that half an hour to an hour manualing a run, well, I just gained a half an hour to an hour of time. That seems a fairly worthwhile trade for, okay, I didn't get 500,000 damage or, didn't get this extra little bit here or there. So,
Yeah, 100%. Like I do agree as well. Like I think it's fine. And yeah, you can choose to manual if you want. I mean for me, I much prefer just doing full auto, and like my clan could kick me out if they want to, and I could find somewhere else. But for me, it's like the reward for doing this whole manual run isn't worth for me the expense of the time, and just it's kind of just tedious, right? Because it's
mhm.
every single week. I'm like, okay, if there's a really big Hydra clash, every blue moon, I could go in a manual for bigger score for the clan, but it's not something I want to do all the time. And it's a criticism I've had of Hydra is it is just a big time sink of just especially for a mobile player, leave your phone running for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Even after they reduce the turn limit, it can still be 40 minutes on auto. And like that's not so bad on a PC, but that's a pain if you're on a phone. And like if you tab out and your phone shuts down the app, the run's gone. It sucks. I think the instant battle is such a good quality of life that yeah, I think I'm fine with it.
It'll actually be kind of interesting because I got the background fights coming as well too for some things, and
yeah.
I suspect that's not going to be coming for Hydra, but that would be kind of an interesting,
Mm,
if they did, that would be an interesting compromise to the full auto, but not the instant battles, would be the background Hydra battles. So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, I got to go do some gear rolling up. So let's go put the Hydra battle in the background and go cleanse my gear for 40 minutes. So at least it's not a full time waste there.
That's true. Yeah, I'm very curious. I can't remember if they said any specifics about where the background battles would work, or there's limit. I'm guessing they'd be limited maybe to your multi battles or something. I don't know. I love
It's
them for
probably anywhere you can use multi battles would be where I would expect it to be the case,
yeah.
because that would mean her city's probably not going to be eligible for it. Doom
No.
Tower seems like a perfectly fitting. Same with faction wars,
Yeah.
and honestly, even the dungeon farming I think is
Oh,
kind of where it's going to see a lot of the light of day.
I would love that, man. Oh
Um,
my god, I hate freaking ice golem, and you're just it's a and they're even pretty fast. Like ice golem and fire knight, I do them in about like 2 minutes or 1.5 minutes or something, and even that now feels slow. I'm like, come on, I wanna do stuff in the game. I want to do the fun stuff, not watch this thing running. So yeah, I'm super hyped for the background battles. All right, well, I guess that's lots to cover here. Let's jump on over to your channel and continue this conversation and talk about again like some more Hydra stuff in depth and in detail. But yeah, anything that you want to say here? Anything we missed that's crucial for this video before we jump on over?
no, I mean, as we said, the relics. I mean, originally the
Mm.
idea for this was to talk about the relics' impact on the game and the meta, and the answer is we'll let you know
Yeah,
next year sometime, right? Yeah.
it's yeah. I mean, they're gonna be so broken, but it's gonna take ages to get them, isn't it? It's gonna take so
Oh yeah.
long. Like that's, I
You
mean,
just wait the 6 months, Polarium.
yeah, I mean, it does look like that sort of time frame. Like
Yeah.
maybe when I get my chest this week, I might have half. So it might be like 1 month to have one attempt at a legendary. So that's like 40, it's an okay chance to get a legend, but that's like doing the top stuff. And then, if I don't get that, it's another month to have a try. And then to get enough stuff to rank them up as well, it's going to take ages. And the mythicals is going to be so much slower. Like to get, I don't even have enough for one slot of mythical. That's going to take.
I think the mythicals are ones you can only get from the trials too. Can you get those from chests at all?
Oh, I don't know, actually. I don't remember. But I mean, that's going to take ages. That's
Oh yeah.
for me, at my rate, that's 3 months probably to get. Maybe, yeah, probably 2 or 3 months, maybe 4, depending on luck and the rotations of the Chimera. It's going to take a long time. Oh, and by the way, actually, one final tip is if you guys check the raid stages tool, let me see if I can get it up here. We actually have on hellhades.com. This go up properly. Hopefully it will. Oh, we've lost Bront. He's back. There we
Here I
go.
am.
You're back. Excellent. But if we jump over to the raid stages tool, obviously this stuff is subject to change, but we do have the other rotations of the Chimera data mined, which could be very helpful. So like the rotation 2, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, is going to be Force Affinity Ultimate Form, and then Magic on the others. Rotation 3 is going to be Magic on the main, and then Spirit on the others. And the final one is going to, that's a good one for Ninja. And then the final one is Spirit on Ultimate, and then Void on the others. Again, I'm like, I use Ninja. I'm like, oh man, Ninja's kind of bad for 1 and for 2. Because of all the force. Like that's a lot of, half the fight is in force, but he's gonna be great for rotation 3 and 4. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, rotation 2 is going to be bad for Newt. It looks like though that could be
Yeah,
unfortunate for a lot of people.
definitely bad for Newt. Yeah, bad for Nekmothar as well. Bad for a lot. Bad for a lot of the meta stuff for sure. Yeah, it's tricky.
And at least with the accuracy and the resistance that they have there too, it's not as outlandish as I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be like initial Iron Twins level or Amius level,
Yeah.
and it's not. I mean, it's still high at the top end. And specifically, I really wish they would fix resistance, because I think building resistance is just still not worth it on this one. I mean, I actually do have a high resistance Elva in protection on my main, and actually on my alt too, and it's enough resistance to resist some of that stuff. But even then, half the stuff can't be resisted anyway. So it's like,
Yeah.
where's the resistance?
Yeah, I mean, like for Ultra Nightmare, you're looking at 555 resist, probably more like 600 resist to be consistent. That's very difficult to build.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm interested in increased resistance buffs for teams and what that can do as like an interesting option, but it's tricky. I mean, like, to get your damage dealer resisting the Viper form, if you don't have a cleanse or a revive, that's not
or a feral. Fear roll is about actually your biggest hope because you've got the decreased accuracy and the increased resistance and
Yeah.
the additional passive resistance that it gives you as well.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
For
it's just
sure.
like Polarium. Give you a champion that's a solution, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like they might they might do fusions or whatever stuff in the future as well. That's gonna bring. I mean, like I would expect more stuff in the future that's gonna be good for it. Like I thought for Hydra, my gosh, it took forever to get good block buff champion. I think there's still too few good perfect veil champions for people.
Mhm.
Like 2 years on, it's like, oh, you got Rector Drath, and then there's a couple of legendaries if you're lucky enough to get them, or Shamael, and otherwise you're kind of it's a bit screwed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It,
we'll
it does feel
continue.
like it's like some of this content was really designed to also get some champions out of the vault. Rathmatab
Yeah.
is one of the ones that feels like maybe he should sort of be useful for this content, although he's still not amazing. But
Yeah.
bring some of
He's
the buffs and debuffs.
mm-hmm.
Mari the Lucky could certainly be an interesting outside of
Oh.
the box option, I think, too.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he puts counterattack up regularly, and that's a bad thing for one of the forms. But
It is, yeah.
he's got the decreased accuracy and decreased resistance.
Yes, that's pretty cool. All right. Yeah. Which is very useful for again for completing trials. Some of those more unusual debuffs, and yeah, decreased accuracy is super strong. Though I mean, again, for that initial hit of the Viper form or the Ram form, like you just with the current champions, you can't unless there's some sort of Krisk-esque effect. There's no way to get decreased accuracy on in time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we'll continue it over on your channel, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, remember click. It'll be linked in the title, be in the description. Should be a pinned comment as well over to Bronzecatter's channel. You can find the rest of our discussion there, and make sure to subscribe and check out the other videos while you're there as well. But yeah, Bronze, thank you for joining me. It's been a really interesting discussion, and yeah, let's go continue it. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.